His coach was talking yesterday about how much kind of better JV has gotten communicating on defense over the years. I know you've only played with him this year, but are you noticing that that's something that he's sort of focusing on more and more throughout the season?
I mean, he's got a lot better, not only that, not just communicating, but as well as helping. And I think in general, it helped other guys to play better defense too. And that started like in the preseason. You know, he came in with a mindset of getting better at it. And at this point, I think he continued to get better, which is good for us before we get into the playoff.
For you, the communication has always sort of been a strength, something that coach has talked about since you got here. Has that something that has always been a strength for you, or has sort of developed over time in the NBA as you've gotten more experience?
I'm just a talking guy, you know. I like to talk, whether we playing basketball or not. But one thing I'm always trying to do is before I go into the game, I start talking from the bench, and usually I talk to Corey. And by the time I get into the game, I already got my rhythm. So I know sometimes it's tough because you got to tell one guy to do one thing, and then you got to tell the other guy to do the other thing. So at the end of the day, you got to communicate to everybody. And it's just a matter of practicing, and obviously it has helped me. It has been my strength since I came in the league. But again, I've got better at it compared to 4 years ago. So at the same time, you know, it's something that we need, especially where we are right now. We lately now playing really good defense, and that's been hurting us. So we just got to find a way to get back on track and be that defensive mindset team.
Were you loud as a rookie though? Like, were you like? I mean, you know, you're new to the league and you come in, and it's got to be hard or a little intimidating to come in and start.
I was as a rookie, but not as much because I had Boris Diaw as my vet, so he always tell me to shut up because rookie are not allowed to talk so much. So, but I was able to, you know, to do my job and being able to learn from a lot of older guys that came before me. And that year, I think we had Sagana job. He wasn't playing as much, but he had experience in the league. And for me, it was just picking a brain from everybody. I had Paul Silas as my first coach, which was a great player. I've talked to him probably more than I've worked out with him. So, but overall, you know, it has been like that since I came in the league.
Do you think that's a tougher thing to learn for guys that aren't maybe natural talkers, that are more quiet, reserved guys off the court?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You know, it's tough because you also go with your personality. You know, like sometimes people are forced to talk because of the situation we're in, but and some people it's just not in them, you know. But at the same time, we can always get better at it, you know, our personality and like at the end of the day, it's about a team, you know, whatever it takes to do for the guy next to you so he can play better, I think we'll be able to do it. And at this point, honestly, starting the season to now, I think our defense has got tons of better. But we can always continue to get better, and especially when the playoffs start, I think our defense is what's going to win us games. Our offense is there. People know we can score, but at the end of the day, you know, I've had a chance to watch a lot of playoff games and talk to a lot of good players over the summer. You know, our defense is what's going to win us games, so I'm very excited, and I look forward to the challenges. I know my teammates are excited as well, but at the same time, we got to find a way to first close the season the right way, and then go from there.
You and JV are different types of players, but you've complemented each other very well this year. He says that having you around has helped, that he's learned some things in terms of communicating and helping on defense.
Right.
Is he kind of picking your brain, coming up to you, or is it more of sort of a learning by watching sort of thing?
I don't know how we pick out my brain, but I always talk to him. You know, I talk to JV a lot, and you know, and even if it's in a game or not, if I see a defensive mistakes, and especially for us big, like we run the show on defense. If we can find a way to communicate with everybody, I think those nights we play great defense, and the nights where our intensity and pressure are a little lower, that's when everybody's struggling on defense. So at the same time, it's kind of a learning process for both of us. It's obviously picking out my brain, but I have a lot to learn from him too, as well as other players. We can always get better at something. So in general, I just think that it's gonna be an exciting end of the season that we all look forward to. And again, in the playoff, we're all gonna be facing challenges, especially defensively, because that's when the basketball IQ of people kind of comes out, and we all got to stick together and find a way to play for each minute and close out games.
I'm thinking back to training camp and how much talk there was about that, about being more vocal, because this team last year, they weren't helping each other a lot on defense, and then you came along, and that was one step. But have you seen one guy who has become far more vocal this year, like from training camp to now, than another?
From training camp to now, DeMar.
Yeah? Talking more?
Kyle is gonna a lot better. You love to play with him. JV has gone a lot better. And I think at the end of the day, it's all of us. It's exciting to see people getting better. But again, at the end of the day, it's like I said, we're gonna face challenges, and we have to be capable of taking those challenges and just be the man and go out there and do you. So that's what I'm excited about. And at the end of the day, I love seeing my teammate get better. And we're all fighting for one thing. We're all fighting for one thing, is to get a win and go home happy.
There's obviously a challenge coming in tomorrow night with Portland. Dwayne talked about the fact that both backcourts can score, but whatever backcourt is going to play defense first is going to help their team the most. But you being the last line of defense, how difficult when you're trying to defend the rim with those type of guys that are coming at you?
I mean, it's tough because, you gotta be in the paint to protect, and then they got bigs that can shoot a little bit. You gotta find a way to get out and recover it. So it's kind of the same situation we had with Kevin Love when we played Cleveland. But, we're all going to make adjustment to it. And, I always love challenges, and I think tomorrow is going to be a good challenge for us. Now, I've watched them a few times. They have been playing great. And again, this is our home, We just have to find a way to continue to protect home. We have our crowd here that kind of motivates us too. So at the end of the day, it's a challenge. But I think at this point of the season, we're ready for any team right now, and I'm very excited for tomorrow's game.